Okay, good evening, everyone. Happy Friday. We survived another week. Congratulations to everyone who survived it. Let's see here. Luna and Oni-chan, welcome. Good to see you all in here tonight. Hope everyone is doing well. Well, we actually had a few people leave suddenly. That's weird. Maybe their computers were bugging or something. We'll find out. I got my coffee and I'm ready to go. Oh, well, that's good. That is good. Let's see here. So what's been going on? So this week I've actually been working on filming a lot of viewer request videos that I've been meaning to get up and out while tinkering with my own research a little bit and trying to catch up on some of my older research. Been doing some working with Freya and Hel, reaching out to her a bit more. And okay. So I have been doing that a little bit this week, and that's actually been very, very interesting. But other than that, a lot of it has been also, working on the Dragon Magic 102 course, trying to get some of the reshoots done and stuff, kind of make up some of the stuff we've lost and, reshoot what needs to be reshot. And of course, finish shooting the second batch of stuff that we need to get edited. Of course, the fun part with that section is there may be reshoots in there as well. Hope not. Terror, hey, glad you can make it. Yes, everyone, if you are in here, be sure to hit that like button. It helps the channel out a whole lot. And definitely good thing so that way YouTube makes sure all the seekers looking for this information can see it. And, then they can use this to manifest that change in their life, which is the whole reason we're here, right? We're here to share this information so you can manifest change and live the life you want. That's why we're here. So make sure you hit the thumbs up and give us a like. Helps us out with that. Wizard Warrior, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Terror chomps on Drake. Hey, I make a tasty snack, I've been told. See, hey, Chris, good to see you again. Boogie VM, good to see you. Hey, welcome. Magician Girl, hello, good to see you. And Earth Dragon, welcome back. Unity Gaming, welcome, good to see you. So yeah, it has been busy. Oh, and before I forget, everyone in the live chat, please, if we can, let's avoid context of drugs, alcohol, adult such topics. Last week we skirted a couple in order to attempt to answer some questions. We didn't get flagged or anything, but there were a few questions asked, let's say. So we're going to try and keep it a little bit more chill than what we did last week, which, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure I even said in the live stream that we was pushing it, and that's okay. So it's all good. Let's see. Severin, welcome. Divine Cardomancer, good to see you tonight as well. Everybody's rolling in here. Familiar faces, a few new ones. Good to see y'all. Let's see, A12, hey. Is the next shirt incoming? A tasty snack. Terry's the one that said it. Scroll up, you'll see his post. Or her post. The next shirt. Yes, the Dragon's Eye Seal shirt. Yes, we have been tinkering with that. I'm actually glad, Luna, glad you asked me about it. We are actually looking at having the Dragon's Eye Seal shirt available, potentially even by Sunday. So I will be letting y'all know when it is available on the shop. We are looking to have it in more than black. I mean, technically, we always put it on the black because obviously it's in red. But some people do has shown interest in possibly having it in other colors. The only color we won't be able to have it in is red. Well, no, because if I put it on a red shirt, I'd have to do a background on it somehow. So that'd be hard, unfortunately. But that's okay. But yes, the Dragon's Eye Seal shirt is on the way, Luna. Thank you for asking. And reminding me, because I completely forgot to inform you all on that. But yes, you're the ideal that was pitched. Highly appreciate. How we have not thought of doing that T-shirt yet, I don't know. I don't know. Not one of my smarter points, but thanks to y'all, it was something we thought of. Y'all keep me in line. I appreciate it. Wizard Warrior, we need to start creating a language so we speak what we want. Wizard Warrior, that is true, but that's also why we do have the Discord. Actually, a bunch of us was down in the public VC today, goofing off and talking a bunch of nonsense, having a great time, sharing ideals. As well as, you got the general chat over there, and there's even a adult section for things that really push the envelope, just because, not everybody's there going to be 18 or over in the Discord, and that's fine. But we do have the Discord, so that is totally there for that. I have considered potentially doing a special live stream that would not remain posted after it was done in order to cover topics like that. Possibly, I don't know how I'd handle it logistically on getting out the information of when we're going to do it or what topics we'd be discussing. Because it is a topic, but at the same time, this is a public catch-all channel, and I don't want to, cut anyone out of that for many multiples of reasons. So in order to literally stick to the goal that I have, I also have to balance that out. Spitfire, welcome. Glad you can make it. Chris, I am doing pretty good. I really am. I have had a very, very fun week. Got a lot of good meditation done. I even had one day where I was able to put my feet up and relax a little, though I have realized how far behind on my private work and research that filming the classes got me. So heads up, once I finish filming 102, I'll probably be taking a break from filming classes for the school, just to catch up on some of my own private work and, personal care. You got to do the self-care routines. But yeah, I've had a really good week and I am doing well. So yeah, pretty good. Wizard Warrior. I always wondered how I'd go about creating a language. I don't know. I know, like the guy who did Star Trek, he did the whole Klingon language. That's a thing. Tolkien, I think, created several languages. And those guys, my goodness, that is some smart stuff right there. That really is. I have no idea how you'd go about that. That is way above my pay grade, mate. Unity Gaming family. Any experience with the Valkyries? Yeah, actually, I love working with the Valkyries. Actually, I met several of them while I was working with Freya. Honestly, they're not all that different from the Einherjar. Most of the Valkyries are female fallen warriors. That is the large bulk of them. However, there are honored Valkyries that had their own battles in slightly different ways that still fill up those ranks very easily. They can have the wings we sometimes see in the artwork, but they don't always have wings. More often than not, they don't show up with the wings, which is kind of nice. Though a part of me really does like when they show up with the wings. It's just, I don't know. I think it's cool. There's actually a ritual Freya gave me for being able to contact the Valkyries that specifically assign to an individual. Um, I don't know what I'm allowed to share about it and when. I know she told me that I would be sharing it at some point. Um, and I'm hoping I get to share that soon because I love working with the Valkyries. Well, Tara, I'm going to try and get the red on the shirt. I just may either I got to get an artist who can swap the colors, or I need to make sure it has a background to so it essentially have like a square or something around it. And I just don't know how that would look. That's kind of the problem with the red. And every artist always wants to charge me a lot of money. But we will see what I can do. We got a few discussions up, so we'll see what we can do. Let's see. Oni-chan question asked Bell for help with a problem. I think he came to me in dreams that night. Has this ever happened to you with an entity? Yeah, actually, Tara, I can actually make sure there's both T-shirts and tank tops available. But yeah, actually, I've worked with entities in sometimes what I felt was a unsuccessful evocation, and then they showed up in a dream to let me know that, hey, Dipstick, guess what? We actually showed up. You were the doofus that wasn't paying attention. Or there's also been the cases where I thought it was a failed evocation, but they showed up at night to let me know that they heard me and they wanted me to repeat the ritual. And they have various motivating reasons there. Sometimes they'll even communicate, that they're going to work with me, but, they didn't want to do the full evocation yet. They wanted to take different steps in the process. And then there were times where I felt their energy, I felt their presence. The connection wasn't full communication, but I was able to work within their presence, and then they showed up in the dream. And I've even had the cases where full evocation was achieved, had a rock solid connection, rock solid conversation, and they still showed up in the dreams. So it can happen for any number of reasons. But yes, it is something that's happened. Thanks. Bernaldes, welcome. Glad you can make it. That's a little earth dragon. I'd use it as an altar cloth. Actually, little earth dragon, we actually do have a beach towel style altar cloth that you could easily get from the merch store. We have it in both the vertical and the horizontal, and it's really, really good quality. But I actually have one that I take with me when I go do outdoor rituals because well, for one, it's easy to clean. You just toss it in the washer if you need to, but it is durable. It's going to last. Because I'm in the woods a lot. Sticks, all the catches on a lot of altar cloths and rip them. This is heavier duty. So you don't have that problem. But it's also that nice heavy beach towel material, so it stays down. Most of your altar cloths, you take them out, the lightest little breeze will blow that sucker away unless you go and tack down all your corners. So I love mine. I really do. So yeah, if you're looking for an altar cloth with the dragon's eye seal on it, go to the merch shop and look for the beach towel. Like I said, we have the vertical one and the horizontal one. And the horizontal one, I love it because not only does it have the seal on it, but there's enough space on each side for if you have tools and you're doing an outdoor ritual, you can put your tools there without sitting them in the grass or in the dirt and the mud, which is really fantastic. So I love it personally. And everyone who's purchased them actually send me great reviews on it too. So it's like the perfect solution for an outdoor altar cloth. I don't know why I never thought of it sooner. Onachan, what is the Einherjar? Oh, the Einherjar. They're the Valiant Dead. They're the warriors who are viewed as the Valiant Dead. Those who have died in battle. That's the Norse term for it. Those who often are perceived as going to Valhalla. So, and I often get the question, are all Einherjar male and all Valkyries female? Actually, no. Bulk, yes, that is the general, but general does not cover everything. There are actually women who die in battle, and rather than take up the position in honor of being a Valkyrie, they would rather take up the position of being an Einherjar, and that's the position they would fill. And there are men who died in battle who they would actually, because Freya actually, if you read the edit, she gets first pick of the dead that die in battle. So those men that would go to her hall, they may actually be offered the honor of duty as a Valkyrie as well, which is pretty freaking cool. But most people don't realize it, but Freya has her own kind of whole Valhalla Hall thing happening. She has an entire hall of valiant dead and warriors that died in battle and were honorable combatants, those kinds of things, and even her own field of battle. Luna, is more rune videos incoming soon? Yes, they are. I want to say within the next 2 weeks, Luna. If not next week, actually, it might be Tuesday. I will double check the schedule for you, and I will let you know, Luna, because I'm thinking it might be next week. I think it'll be Tuesday. Oh, I love working with them. So that's one reason I'm really wanting to get some more Norse videos up. And it's weird. The channel seems to kind of shifted gears and go in a direction. But I try to go with those flows, not what I want, but the flow of the channel itself, because the channel is for those seeking. And it seems like when I pick up on those natural flows for the channel, there are people seeking it. It's almost like this channel has a life of its own now, which makes sense considering the entities I've worked with. I've discussed the channel and I've specifically asked for their help and guidance. So I'm pretty sure when I pick up that flow, it's like, hey, look, we got people needing this information. Let's get this information to them. So that's always nice. Let's see. What file type? I don't know. I'm not a tech person. I'm really bad at the file types. I'd seriously have to get the hard drive it's on and actually look at it specifically. Andrew, hey, good to see you. Chris, I want to research more Norse mythology, but I want to make sure my information is accurate as possible. Any suggestions? Yeah. Okay. First off, you want to get the Poetic Edis. Start there. And Jackson Crawford's translation, honestly, of all the ones I've read, it is my absolute favorite. Not only does he explain his translations in his notes and, out in the margins and everything, he explains why he translates things certain ways. He even goes into what the original meaning may have been used as, which really helps while reading it. And the Poetic Edis is really the most accurate source out there. Next, after you've read the Poetic Edis, you can pick up the Prose Edis by Snorri Sterlingson. There's a lot of copies of this one. This one, I don't think Jackson Crawford has a translation yet on this, but that's probably, it was wrote later. It was after the Christianization era. But it is one of those things where you can tell by reading it, Snorri definitely had a love and respect for the culture, but he had to pen it and write it in a way that wouldn't get him or other people in trouble. So he's preserved it in a slightly altered way. So there are things in there that a lot of people don't like, that feel very, very inaccurate. But those are your two major, most accurate sources. And that's one of the things that makes it hard. Now, for a quick resource, there is a website called Norse Mythology for Smart People. I love that website's name. I really do. They talk about the mythology and the theory and ideals behind the different characters and events. That is a great place to start doing your research outside of the Edis and the Prose Edis. So I'd recommend going there. If you go to other sources, you run into the problem of opinion pieces. Like, I recently purchased a book, like a dictionary of spirits by the same lady who does like the book of 9,000 spells. Which, don't waste your money on the book of 9,000 spells, by the way. But I wanted to see what this catalog would be like. And I've read through it, and it is such a mishmash of accurate and inaccurate information. I could never recommend it because it's a great read and reference for ballpark ideals at best. And some of the information, some of the entities is very, very, very accurate. And then some of them is way off in left field. It's like they pulled the information from Hollywood's ideals of the entity. And I don't like when books do that. But we do see this a lot in Norse mythology. There are people publishing books out there that are claiming Thor and Loki are brothers because they saw it in Marvel. They're not brothers at all. So they are friends, they are traveling companions, but they are not brothers. So it gets tricky with Norse mythology, Chris. But I do encourage you to check out Jackson Crawford's works on it. All the videos usually has a link to his translations because anytime I do recommend a book, especially books I get lots of questions on, I'm trying to make sure we got links for them below. So his translations should be linked down there. If it's not, hit me up with a message at some point. I will get you the book. But honestly, if you go to Amazon, type in The Poetic Edis by Jackson Crawford, it'll pop up. Unity Gaming, has Ragnarok taken place yet? Oh yeah, many, many, many times over. Ragnarok is not the end of the world; it's the end of a cycle. And when you actually read the myth and the story in its entirety, you actually find out that everything that happens was meant to happen for a reason, and there's actually an entire rebirth, and even the gods themselves are reborn for the cycle to be renewed, which is it's an amazing story. And once you see the entirety of it, it gives it a whole new view. And ironically, once you have that, you can go back and reread the Edis, and it takes on a whole new meaning then. Terror Drake, if your file of the Dragon's Nest seal is a transparent PNG, email it to me. I can see if I can do stuff with it. I'll check on that, Tara. Thank you. Appreciate your help. I really do. Let's see. Have I ever worked with Archangel Yurio? Yep, I have worked with Yurio. I actually enjoyed it too. Urio's one of the angels I did enjoy working with. It's not one I've worked with a lot, but I'd be lying if I said Uriel's not at the top of my go back to and work with list, because I've said on here many times I'm planning to go back and do a deeper path working with angels. And as I'm planning this, there's certain angels that I've put on my notes that I actually want to reconnect with or connect with for the first time. And on my reconnect, Urio's way up there. I enjoyed it. Because I enjoyed working with them. I enjoyed their personality, but I didn't take the time to get to know them. So it's one of those things where I love this angel, at least the first impressions I had of them. But at the same time, it's like when you ask me, what are they like? It's like, I don't have enough that I can really detail it, at least from a Southern's perspective. And I'm a Southerner. We like to have lots of details when we tell you something. So it makes it difficult. But I can say I highly enjoyed it. Luna, I need the Norse Mythology for Dummies edition. Maybe I can memorize some of the names better. Luna, check out the website Norse Mythology for Smart People. They do a pretty good job. It's organized pretty well. And one of the big things, especially when it comes to the names, don't try to overwhelm yourself. I've been outlining a Norse magic path working. And me and Odin and many of the other entities have sat down on this. And one of the things that actually has been kind of front and center is take the time one entity at a time. So the path working is going to be set up with individual entities one at a time to literally give you a time to work with them and get to know them. And part of that is also to figure out the pronunciation of names. Some of those Norse names are hard for some people, especially me. My Southern twang, Jormungandr, you all have no idea how long it took me to be able to pronounce that as well as I do. And I've still had Scandinavian people correct my pronunciation. And I understand it ain't perfect. I apologize. But it's took me a long time to get there. The big thing that really helped me was basically always remember to change a J to a Y. That really helped me because there for the longest time, can I even still say it? It's like Jormungandr is what I was trying to say, or something. I don't even know if I can say it. Oh crap! I'm wanting to say it was like Jormungandr or something like that is what I was trying to say. But if I ever get said path working done, hopefully that one will be helpful to you, Luna. But hopefully you'll solve that little issue sooner. Let's see. Chris, thank you. No problem. Happy to help. Happy to help. Let's see. Can you tell me more about the Norse deity Scaldi? Scaldi is actually a fascinating Norse deity. She is a Jotun by birth. People think the Jotuns and the gods are different. They're actually not. They're different tribes, but they're not all that different. The gods and the Jotuns intermarry all the time. And her father was killed by the Asir. And she eventually married Jord, who was the Norse god of the sea. She is most commonly known as the goddess of the hunt, archery, winter, the mountains, and skiing. So she loves her time out in the woods. She loves the winter, and she absolutely loves hunting. Hunting is kind of her big shtick. She really is. She loves it. Let's see here. Have you met any Jinn? Yes, I have met a few Jinn. I've worked with them on and off through the years. Can't really say I've really built a relationship with any Jinn that I know by name particularly. I know some people view Azazel as a Jinn. I disagree with that. But that's like if you count him amongst the Jinn, he would be the only Jinn that I can personally think I would know his name, which sounds rude, but at the same time, I don't expect them to remember my name either. So, but there is, I mean, it's in a notebook of mine. There is one Jinn I really enjoyed working with. Him and I had a similar taste in rum. Um, and he made a comment to me about looking into Jamaican rums. And I never did. It took me forever. Actually, I recently picked up a bottle of one that I actually kind of like it. But it's one of those weird things. I know it sounds silly, but I almost want to go back and discuss rum with him and, what I've learned since then. It sounds a silly reason to talk to an entity, but it's just something that crossed my mind. But to do it, I'd have to go back and get his name from my journals and notes. Wizard Warrior. Yep, we are going through a Ragnarok cycle now. You are dead on that. You're right. That is for sure. Wow, great answer on. No problem, no problem. I love the Ragnarok myths. I do. In fact, if you do have a copy of the Poetic Edda that you enjoy, I would challenge you to go to it, read the Ragnarok myth in its entirety, and then go through and read the rest of it with that freshly in your mind. Because what you will see is Loki, all of Loki's actions make sense. He's always doing something. He causes trouble, but he's also helping the gods every step of the way until the Lokasana. And then everything derails. It makes no sense. He's completely out of character for Loki. Because through the entire thing, he is Odin and Thor's friend. They help each other. Yeah, he causes mischief. Thor has to get him in line a time or two. But the personality, everything is different. But if you read the Lokasana with everything prior to it in mind, knowing Loki's personality is out of place, and read Ragnarok and look back, what you see is Loki and Odin staged the whole thing. They needed Loki on the outside. They needed Loki over here pulling strings. And the gods themselves were constantly trying to prevent Ragnarok. Everyone wants to say Odin was trying to prevent it. But if you look at his actions and you read between the lines, it's more he's pulling the strings to make sure the cycle completes and is renewed. And I think Loki was key in that. I really do. Let's see. Terror, kind of random, but I love the Jotun. From the movie, The Ritual, absolutely fantastic creature design in it. I don't know that I've seen the movie The Ritual. I may have to check that one out. LVX. Hey, doing good, doing good. Mugs up to you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you are doing well. Oh, and I do want to thank you all the nice people who's been doing the super chat donations. Thank you so much. There's been some updates and whatnot to YouTube, and you guys have really helped push our numbers up there a little bit to make it so that, well, we kind of had to get a new webcam because we had a small little. It burned up. We messed up the webcam. And thanks to you all, that was not an issue. We were able to replace it and keep everything going just fine and dandy without missing a beat or a live stream. And that is all because of your all support here in the live streams with the super chats as well as the Patreon members. You all are fantastic. Mugs up to every one of you. I appreciate you. I really do. Let's see. Unity Gaming, are the Jotuns inherently evil? Nope. Again, that is through the Christian lens. You always have to have the divine fighting the evil. It didn't really work that way in Norse mythology. The Jotuns did have they were kind of a primal force. They kind of mirror the Titans in Greek mythology, but they were still more civilized. Again, there are plenty of examples of the Jotun actually working with the Æsir and the Vanir as allies. Not all Jotun were bad Jotuns. In fact, very few were innately evil. In fact, they wouldn't even be called innately evil. It's just they were a form of destruction that couldn't be harnessed in any way or couldn't be used in any good way. The Jotun Agraboda is actually one of these examples. She wasn't referred to as the destroyer and the sorrowbringer for no reason, but at the same time, she still serves a purpose because she is the mother of the 3 children of Ragnarok, the wolf Fenrir, the goddess Hel herself, and of course, Jormungandr, the world serpent. All 3 play a pivotal role in Ragnarok. Without them, the cycle cannot complete. So absolutely pivotal. But no, the Jotuns are not innately evil. In fact, oh crap, Thor's mother is a Jotun. And I should know it because she's essentially the earth. Thor's mother is the earth. And I want to say Gaia, but that ain't right. That's not the Norse word for it. And I am just blanking on her name. So, see, Luna, you're not the only one. Crap. But anyway, yeah. So the Earth itself would be viewed as a Jotun, and clearly the Norse did not view the Earth as evil. I may or may not have been attempting to record a ritual, Luna, and the camera did not agree with it. No, not Frigga. Not Frigga at all. Frigga is actually a lot of people think Freya and Frigga are the same goddess, and when you look at the research on it, it makes a lot of sense. They share so many similarities, and Frigga doesn't really show up in the Eddas much at all until later. There's only like one point where you ever see the two in the same room together. And they share so many commonalities. The theory is that as Christianity was moving in order to keep Freya at her high position, they changed the name and changed the overarching view of her from the bold warrior goddess that she was into more of the central caretaker of the home. And the name shifted over to Frigga. That's one of those philosophical debates that almost every person's going to have to answer for themselves. Me personally, once I read the information and I went and spoke with Freya, and it didn't take me long for me, I'm going to say they're the same. Honestly, they are the same. Anytime I call on Frigga these days, Freya shows up. So mileage may vary. Different people may come from different views on that. But yeah, that is the thing. And it's, you know what? Give me a second. Let me get that name for y'all. That's going to bug the tar out of me. Let's see here. Norse goddess of Earth is... Oh, I was right. Crap. Okay. So it's actually Jord. Jord. Jord is the Norse goddess of Earth. The reason it wasn't sounding right is because you got Njord, who was Scaldi's husband, which is one letter off, and that was throwing me. I kept thinking I was thinking of the Norse god of the seas. So it's Jord. Jord is Thor's mother and is a Jotun. So there we go. Had to look it up there. Occasionally, stuff bothers me. Let's see. Well, yeah, technology. Don't put an iPhone near me. Seriously, my friends will not bring their iPhones in my house. If you even set an iPhone within 5 feet of me for 30 minutes, it won't turn on. Fenrir is cute, but he's not pleasant. Trust me. He is a force of absolute total destruction. That is his whole thing. Which has gotten a lot of people in trouble because you do have a lot of people that, just like you had this whole movement where they just you had people leave the church and create Satanism and just flip flopped it and changed it to suit their needs just to rebel. You've got pagans that are flip flopping the Norse myths and they're deviating from the lore and trying to create these entities into things they are not. I've actually seen Agrabota view once called the mother who can love all, even the unlovable. And it's like, have you actually read about this Jotun? Do you actually know about her? But Fenrir is a very, very destructive force. There are some very cute myths of him when he was younger, but it's what he was capable of when he was older. And that unchecked destructive carnage, that's really what he's meant to do. So you got to make sure you know what you're getting into if you're working with him. Because I have seen a lot of people call on him and then their whole life goes to crap and they don't know why. And it's like, you called on a force of pure chaos, destruction, and carnage. What did you think was going to happen? Let's see. Psych. Okay. Hello, Psych. Let's see. During Leviathan and the rulers of the dragon water different, right? Yes, they are very, very different entities. Very different. Cor Allegra has nothing to do with chaos, whereas Leviathan, though is a cross elemental dragon, Leviathan is not one of the 9 rulers, and is actually a cross elemental dragon associated with water, earth, fire, chaos. Let's see here. What I need is more motivation or inspiration. My art has been dying down and I've been playing with animation just so complex. I feel overwhelmed myself. I'd recommend Birgi, who is the bard amongst the Norse and very, very handy there. I really would. Oh crap, did it just tell me I disconnected? Okay. Hopefully y'all can still hear me. Let's see. Oop, we jumped a bit. Okay. Let's see here. Psych, yeah, you may ask a dragon question if you want. No issues there. We got a few minutes left. Yeah. Okay, first thing you got to understand, demons in and of themselves, demon is not necessarily a race of being. It's more of a category of area of work. It's more of a job, for lack of a better word. Because actually, so there's entities across the multiverse that would fall under what humans have labeled demons. And yes, Leviathan is one of these entities, even though biblically he was not necessarily a demon. And obviously from the dragon's perspective, he isn't. But he also has shown up in literature, largely from the grimoire demonology ages, which most were penned by the church, mind you, where he is categorized as a demon. But then again, anything that isn't an angel or God or Jesus easily got categorized as a demon back in them days. So yeah, Leviathan is not a abyssal demon in that direct concept, but would be considered it anyways from a human perspective. So yes, he would fit into that category of demon. He is indeed a dragon, but the way the dragon realms are set up, he does not qualify as one of the 9 rulers at all. Luna, sound and image are good. Thank you, Luna. That little glitchy thing that popped up there is like, oh crap. Let's see. Do you mean incantations there, Unity? Because invocation is where you summon an entity into you, which is generally not recommended unless you've worked with the entity a lot, because invocation can lead to possession, willing possession, but there are side effects to invocation, because anytime you take an entity's energy into yourself, it's going to leave a permanent fingerprint of some kind. But if you mean incantation, well, that's a different story. That's more in the spell work category. And for things to happen like fires create wind, I've heard a lot of people make these claims. I really have, and I'm not saying they're impossible. I don't like saying that. But every person who's ever made that claim, none of them have been able to follow through with it. No matter how much money I put on the table, nothing. They've not been able to follow through with it. Spontaneously creating fireballs and the like is just something I have not seen anyone manifest controllably in any way. Create minor breezes for a personal microclimate. Yeah, that I've seen, but not onto anything where I would even count it as an actual full wind. It would basically be almost like a puff of your breath. Let's see. So if someone was to work with dragons, Leviathan, would he also be a protector of balance and being into friendship when working with him? He would. All dragons deal with the balance, but, and this is what gets people in trouble. They think the balance is a nice little groovy spot. They think it's just this nice little peaceful calm. It's not. There must be destruction. There must be chaos in order to give birth to creation and peace. All these things take place. In fact, the chaos dragons themselves, creation and destruction is their whole shtick. They are destroyers, and anything that's not serving a function within the multiverse, they will destroy without prejudice. They just go in, swoop in, and destroy it. There's a lot of magicians who's got themselves in a world of hurt working with chaos dragons. That's the reason they're the ones you approach last. They will wreck your life willingly if it's something that's not serving you and you've called on them. Therefore, Leviathan, having that chaos trait to him, that is a trait like we talked to me or threatened to. But like all dragons, he is one of the ones that is. All dragons will want to build a relationship and a friendship, which requires you to understand them in their total nature and accepting